Welcome back to another instant reaction on the Graveyard Shift, our final NBA instant reaction of the year. And who better to bring in than our former director, Amanda Golson, number one Thunder fan, to recap her hate watch of the San Antonio Spurs, as well as Gia Ciaccio. I'm your host, Will McBroom, as always. The New York Knicks are NBA Finals champions for the first time since 1973, winning 94 to 90 as the Spurs have another meltdown in a series that was extremely competitive all five games, but definitely began to show some patterns. Amanda, I'll throw it to you on the hate watch point first. What'd you think of the experience of getting to watch the Spurs fail?
Oh, it feels good. It really does. From being a Thunder fan and having the entire online discourse change about this Spurs team in the matter of about 24 hours after the Thunder were not in the conversation anymore, it was truly magical how quick everything happened when our feelings were validated, when the entire world saw how dirty Wembanyama is as a player. And it was put on full display, and I'm glad that he stuck to what he has been doing all playoffs, and it might have cost his team a championship. So, no, great hate watch for me. Can't recommend it enough. If you guys are ever looking to hate on a team and watch for fun, I think I had more enjoyment watching them lose than watching the Thunder win last year, actually. So,
Wow. Gia, you hate the Knicks, so how did that feel for you?
You guys keep saying that. I don't hate the Knicks. I wanted Vassell to win and I wanted it for Wemby and it felt right for them, like 10-year anniversary of, LeBron and the Cavs, and like LeBron was like the face of the league and now Wemby's going to be the face of the league, and it just felt right.
You
I
like
don't know.
that
It
thing
just
where he
felt
like
right.
stuck his foot out right where Brunson was landing? You were into that?
I will say my views of Wemby have changed this finals. I find him to be a bit of a baby. As much as I love a passionate player, his emotion definitely hurt him in the long run. But I tuned into the game in the second quarter because I was working the first quarter, and they had like an insane lead, and I didn't feel any sort of confidence that they were going to keep that. Like, I obviously, just because of game four, and then obviously they blew their lead. The third quarter gave me some confidence again, and then in the fourth quarter, I think that was that was an all-time Jalen Brunson and kind of like an all-time Wemby game too. I mean, Wemby, remembered he was 7-4 and had like 5 blocks in the first half, and was like, and Brunson was getting in the paint anytime Wemby was out of the game. Brunson just dropped 45 points, 15 in the fourth quarter. Like, he was just like, oh yeah, I can end this right here, and did. So it wasn't surprising, I don't think, any of that to see.
Yeah, I can round out the hate watch spectrum because I am a noted hater of De'Aaron Fox because he's awful at basketball. And this series has done nothing but prove me right for what I've been saying since February, which is that he actively holds his team back. Fox and Castle in this game combined to go 4 for 25 from the floor, 1 of 11 from three. Just terrible. Fox makes some of just the worst plays that you'll ever see. It doesn't make any sense.
He made
Lowest basketball
nothing.
IQ of any player, maybe to ever just step foot on the floor, but short of Terry Rozier. Uh, on the flip side of that, Dylan Harper, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, was 10 of 19. Played 31 minutes, so they almost gave him the same amount of minutes finally. He's easily been their best guard this entire series. Uh, but then misses those two free throws near the end, which you can't pin any blame on Harper when again Castle and Fox did nothing. But just watching the Spurs melt down like that was it just speaks again to the youth, the way that that's shown up this entire series, and the way that it didn't as much against the Thunder. It felt like they were much more able to just keep it to certain moments there. But that's been a big, just huge issue for the Spurs.
I feel like, and I mentioned this last instant reaction, he's so underrated. Like, he only had 12 points tonight, but he was like their source of energy almost, where his shots were the big ones. Like, he hit the buzzer beater at halftime. It just gave them momentum. And then every time the Knicks like had a good shot, he responded. Like, Brunson hit a three, and then he responded right away with a three, stopped the bleeding in the fourth quarter with a three. Yeah, with another three to bring it to a 9 point lead again. He just kind of seemed like the, even though he's 25, like the mature one on the team who kind of would just like pull things in for them. And the rest of the team just kind of like their youth showed at certain moments in the fourth quarter, especially where they just kept doing the same thing where they'd get up and then blow their momentum and make immature mistakes.
Yeah, this game looked like it was going to be, first of all, a Scott Foster masterclass. There was no way. Statistically, the Knicks should not have won this game. When you score 13 points in the opening quarter and two of your highest scorers throughout, the guys you look to score the most, you have Karl Anthony Towns and OG Anunoby, who both get into early foul trouble and are sitting. I mean, Cat played 15 minutes with 4 fouls and then sat for the rest of the game, and then came in and played 8 more minutes and only scored 2 points. He was 1 for 7 from the field. Like, those without, I mean, Jalen Brunson, obviously he's so well deserving of MVP. This was his game. Without him, they wouldn't have won this game, obviously. But the Knicks had everything going against them, it seemed, with missed fouls and just guys not picking up, their role players not doing their job. And I mean, just the fact that they've done it all year. They've just found a way. They've pulled games out, and they expose the Spurs' weak spots. And I think that's what has really kept them alive this series and shown that they are the better team.
Yeah, Brunson ends up winning Finals MVP. I think that was unquestionable after this game. I know Anunoby had a lot of buzz, but there was no way you could, watch the way he showed up in this one and not end up giving it to him. But yeah, I mean, the Knicks on that side, Anunoby didn't have a great offensive game. Sue him. He's done plenty before that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the bench didn't have a point about 2/3 of the way through the third quarter. Last time I checked,
30 seconds left in the third quarter.
Dang. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
almost 3 whole quarters.
they end up with 9 total, 5 of which come from Landry Shamet in the fourth. Like, so the Knicks play at what also seemed to be a pattern for them where they don't play their best game, but in that fourth quarter and when it really matters, they just show up. And it's just
Jalen
crazy.
Brunson showed up.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, 45 points. That was like triple of any other starting player. I'm pretty positive. I can't even look, but OG Anunoby had like 11 points, 3 for 11
Bridges
from the field.
was actually
like,
second, at 14.
And he was just like, "Oh yeah, let me win the Knicks' first finals since ESPN was invented. Like, I want that." Like, he really, you saw who wanted it. I don't know. Well, obviously the Spurs wanted it too, but the Knicks just like,
not enough.
That was generational. No, not enough. I thought, I mean, I even said, I was like, hey, Spurs in 7, not impossible for them to win the next 3, but yeah, no, pretty impossible. With the
Not only could, I mean, Brunson obviously take the lead in the scoring, but just the officiating, or not the officiating, the facilitating. When he was out of the game, Knicks were in no sort of offensive rhythm.
No one
and you
wanted
could
to do
tell,
anything, yeah.
And you could tell they needed him back in the game. When you have Josh Hart and Mikal Bridges handling the ball, they were doing a whole lot of passing and not a whole lot of scoring. So, I mean, that just goes to show just how important Brunson was in this game, the whole series alone. I mean, he was so smart down the stretch. He drew 2 fouls shooting a 3, and when you can get to the line like that, I mean, it was smart. Like, it's smart basketball, and he's so deserving. He's such a crafty player. His ability to change speeds and honestly and not saying use his height to his advantage, but like, he's so nifty and he can get around the hoop. I think a lot easier than some other guys, and he's not afraid to attack the basket, which is hard to do when you've got Victor Wembanyama standing underneath there. But no, he deserves this. I'm proud of him. He's had such a journey to get to where he is now, and I think Nico Harrison should be fired a second time.
I'm happy for Jalen Brunson too. Like, I'm happy for him and his dad, and obviously his story and everything. It felt like the Sam Darnold Drake May storyline from the Super Bowl a little bit, where like you like this like bet that you want to win versus like this new player who's coming in, but. Again, not to hate, because I'm not like a Knicks hater whatsoever, but like watching, and obviously there's so much emotion or whatever, but watching And that was every single Jalen Brunson. Francisco!
We're now joined by our chief Knicks
Yes!
correspondent live from
Yes!
San Antonio. Francisco, how we
Let's
feeling?
go.
It's amazing. I mean, the amount of Knicks fans in there was absolutely crazy. They wouldn't let us go down, but we watched the whole thing from no confetti, which I don't know why I thought there was
Boo.
confetti.
That's
I would have
crazy.
brought some back for everybody in the department, but a lot of New York fans. Oh my God. I'm sitting here telling my dad, I'm like, this is an experience. This is one of the most important sports championships, any sport, anytime. The fact that we were able to witness it, my flight journey yesterday was, oh my God. Like, the
Recap
amount
that
of
real
delays,
quick. Yeah.
I didn't think I was going to make it. And then finding the flight to Houston, I get into Houston at like 1 a.m. We get a hotel, and then we drive 3 hours in the morning to get here. Thank you guys. I hope nice things are being said about the Knicks right now, especially Jalen Brunson. That was the greatest finals performance I've ever seen in my life. And that's a little biased, but
Dude, we were just glazing him. Don't worry.
perfect. Go Knicks.
Let's
Oh,
go.
I love this for
Enjoy
you.
it.
so
Love
happy
it.
for Francisco.
That's
I'm
awesome.
so happy for him. And right as I was in the middle of saying something not super negative about Jalen Brunson, because I'm again, I just said I'm so proud of him. But I feel like every single post-game interview I watched of him, he would just say like, I don't know. So like the most simple questions and like give nothing. Like obviously he was so happy. Like
Yeah,
you
he
could
was
see him
fun
like
on
hugging his
Inside
dad
the
and
NBA.
crying. But he just like literally she's asking him, Lauren's asking him the questions, and he's like, and she's even putting it in a way that's like, I know you're experiencing so much emotion right now. Can you just like tell us what you're feeling? Like, and he's like, I don't know. And she's like, we can see, like, it's a lot. Like, he could not say, he didn't say a single word. Like, he just wouldn't speak. Just say, like, oh my God, this is like the best day ever. Like, that's all you have to say. I don't know. He just couldn't, like, and that was the whole playoffs. Every interview with him, I was like, come on, give me something. You're literally Mr. New York. Like, you are, like, MVP. I don't know. I wanted more from him. But
At least he wasn't corny like Jason Tatum and like copied
God, I
someone's
hate
signature
Jason Tatum.
catchphrase. So I'll
That's
take that
fair.
from him. No, that's pure emotion that we saw from him. And I think it's funny how the Spurs celebrated their Western Conference Finals win like it was the championship, and their hangover from that was very much evident. And it's funny that they actually admitted that, because that was like a huge thing on Twitter. Like, do they let this get to them? And they did, and it showed. So I hope they enjoy their Western Conference Final shirts.
I mean,
fair, because the Knicks went into it with like, this is not even like after they were up 3-1, they were like, this is not even close to being over. They always had that mentality. And I not in like not that the Spurs had that in the finals, but like you're right. Like they were so like, I guess they deserve to be happy for the Western Conference Finals like win, but yeah, it was like your job is not done. And the Knicks just had so much time to rest, and you're hungover now going into like 3 days off or 4, however many days off. Like it was, yeah, I agree with that.
we talked about this on this after game 2, I believe, with Francisco and Trey. Just what this title means for the Knicks. Is there anything comparable? Because there were only like 3 things that I could. There's 2 things that I think are. There's one title that's actually happened, which is the Cubs winning in 2016. And even that is like Chicago does also have the White Sox that had won. Like it's not the same as New York where like the Knicks are the one team and the only team of all the, sports in the state that like just unites everybody. And then the hypothetical that slightly matched up with pretty much everything other than market size, including just the misery of the fan base, is the Buffalo Bills. But I can't really think of anything else that does or could rival what this title means to the Knicks.
No, I think the
I
way
can't
that
either.
we've been, yeah, I think the way that the entire city has reacted, I think that tells you enough. And the FOMO that I'm getting from just not being in New York is actually insane. But I mean, it's hard to compare this to anything. But my question is, does this give any legitimacy to the NBA Cup? Could this be
You know?
the way? Two-time champion in the season. New York Knicks, there could be something here, guys. I don't know. This NBA
But
Cup, Adam Silver might be cooking here.
at the same time, Doc Rivers won one.
Did you see the Prince with him, or the ex-Prince with him,
Yeah,
with Adam
yeah.
Silver at the game? I was like,
Oh yeah, Prince Harry.
yeah, interesting combo.
Yeah, is he a supposed Knicks fan now, or is that? Is Megan
Everyone
a
is
Knicks
a
fan? Maybe I don't know. Well, DJ Khaled was until he just sat there on his phone for the entire game.
That's crazy.
You know what?
he's a
He's
Heat
on.
fan. That's
That
your
was
Heat fan right
just
there.
despicable behavior, though. Uh, yeah, just I mean, to look retrospectively at it, I was completely wrong on the Knicks. First of all, just firing Thibodeau after you make the Eastern
Yeah.
Conference Finals, you're competitive with the Pacers, and you realize you've hit a ceiling with this guy for a team that rode their bench through the playoffs. Not that they got much contest until this series, really, but uh, none of those guys would have played if Thibodeau was still there. You make that decision. You don't really have any idea who you're hiring. You end up settling for Mike Brown, who now, after, three, four times being fired, including by the Kings after winning Coach of the Year and getting them the playoffs, which is honestly more impressive than even winning the title with the Knicks. Uh, you settle on him. You're not that great in the regular season, especially through like February. It didn't really. I wasn't high on the Knicks at that point. It seemed like Celtics definitely were thought of more highly than them. I thought of the Pistons a little bit more highly with how competitive that series was last year. And through all of that, they have the most dominant playoff run outside of like the 2017 Warriors that we've seen in recent memory. It's incredible what this front office has done for with an ownership group that had been just panned in pretty much every decision, had made nothing but wrong decisions up until basically bringing in Brunson, making the cat trade. Everything that they've done, none of it has been like an obvious move, and it's all just worked out perfectly.
I feel like this was the Knicks year to win. Like they had to win this year. And then the Spurs, like, even though they lost this year, like I feel like this is gonna be the run they go on. And that if they didn't lose the finals, then they probably wouldn't go on such a run and that they're about to go on.
Yeah, this was the year for them to do it. Like opposite ends of the spectrum in terms of like age of guys. The Spurs are going to be a problem for many years to come, but the Knicks have been so here and there the last couple of years, and so especially with all the, God forbid they if they didn't win, they fire their coach again. Like you never know with this franchise, and I think this was the year for them to win. Like it probably would have been another 53 years, but no, I think the Spurs are going to be a problem for a very long time. As if they can kind of keep their core together and add a couple pieces here and there. But this was, I mean, I didn't expect this to happen when I was making my championship bracket. I thought the Celtics had an easy path, but that's how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, it did line up perfectly for them in that the Celtics made the decision to kind of force Tatum back into that lineup, which kind of just mucks everything up for the year. The Pacers are gone this year. They just take the season off, so you don't have to deal with them. And then the Cavs signed James Harden to completely ruin any slight chance of doing anything because we know how that works in the playoffs. Other,
Speaking of James Harden,
yeah, weird day for him. Other winners and losers from this playoff. Brunson is the most obvious winner. That top, I'd say undeniably to me, top seven player in the league. I think you
yeah.
could easily argue for him higher than some people after this too. I mean, you could even look at Giannis and say, well, he doesn't play and his teams haven't made the playoffs. So if we're factoring everything in, maybe you're putting him ahead of a guy like that. Uh, Another winner of the Mikal Bridges trade, because if you win a finals, everybody forgets that you gave up 5 first round picks. If you lose here in a series where Bridges was, and really a playoff run where Bridges was not very efficient, then a lot of people are going to bring up, oh, maybe those 1st round picks could have been useful instead of going and grabbing, one of Brunson's buddies. Dylan Harper is going to be unstoppable in about a year or two. That guy's amazing. He should have played more. That's a big just mismanagement by Mitch Johnson there to not have him play more minutes because the biggest loser of the series was Fox. And that leads into the Spurs question of what do they do moving forward? Obviously, extremely young team. You have Wemby, Castle, Harper. You're not going to make any crazy changes. I think Fox probably has to be gone. If you have anybody who's interested at this point with the type of series that he played here, it's not unlike it's not unlike the game that Chet played in a way, in that you look at it, you're like, wow, it might be difficult to come back from this, except Chet's young. Fox isn't going into year 9 next year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you keep him around.
No, the Spurs, they need more help down low. Like, Luke Cornett is not an efficient second option. And
No.
when Wemby's out of the game, it's very evident where their flaws are. And I think if you can do anything to package Fox and send him to China and get something for that, I mean that's got to be what they're looking for in the offseason. Because they need, I mean Wemby's still young and he is susceptible to injury, I think. So getting someone to really support him in the paint is, I think that's got to be something they look at.
Yeah. No, it was just I'm thriving in De'Aaron Fox's failures. I did see something that scared. I think it was Zach Lowe who was talking about it, that in terms of teams that would be interested, anyone who gets Giannis and didn't have an established guard to go with him could do that. So Miami got brought up. I would not watch. I would I
No?
I can't do that. I can't watch De'Aaron Fox on my team after having to struggle through Terry Rozier and just being saved by Cash Patel. I can't deal with that. It's just not possible. Also, why didn't when OG Anunoby grabbed that rebound at the end, why didn't he try and shoot it like Fox did? Why did he like try and run the
Because he
clock
was
out?
3 for 11.
No, but
I
like
don't know.
you could end the game, but like why didn't he just try to get more points the way De'Aaron Fox did? It was weird. I don't know.
That Indiana IQ. Who's your nation?
Shout out Tom Raffin. He's
Shout
gonna
out
be
Tom Raffin.
He's gonna be upset that Anunoby didn't win Finals MVP. He was pushing that narrative pretty hard. I'm also seeing Kate Finkelstein posting Knicks stuff for the second time all year on her story. Shout out. So we got good Knicks
All right, what
representation
are
in this
what are your
department.
guys' thoughts on the not the on the bandwagons? Because I've seen people say
Mm,
I've seen Knicks fans say like we want bandwagons. Like, of course, anyone's welcome. Like, of course, you're supporting our team. Like, why would we? I don't care if you've watched 0 games of the
you talking about
regular
Taylor
season of the
Swift?
Knicks. Actually, no. Trey sent me some evidence.
I don't care what he said.
Has he sent me pictures of her at the Knicks games in 2014 and
AI.
2016 and like 2018. She moved to New York and like has been going with, she's been sitting next to Ben Stiller for years. But my mentality with that, because like, oh my gosh, if the Rays went to the World Series, I would say I don't care if you've never watched a game, a pitch in your life. If you say you want the Rays to win, I am all for that. I'm like, it's the playoffs. I mean, obviously, there's majority of people that are watching that say they're basketball fans barely watch the regular season and just like kept up with like some games here and there, and then they tune in for the playoffs. So me included with the NBA, at least. I don't watch too much of the regular season, to be honest. But I think I'm not. I was a neutral fan in this. This is just a great, great, great like finals matchup. I loved. What? No, like both the storylines were great. Like there was a lot to be excited for both teams if they were to win. But I think like I don't know. I think the bandwagons are it's fine. Like you can be a bandwagon in this case.
The biggest bandwagon I have to question is where does Pope Leo's fandom lie in
Yeah.
all of this? As a proud Villanova alumni, I would like to think he was pulling for the Nova boys, but as a Chicago resident, is he a Bulls fan? Gosh, I hope not. Maybe that's why he moved. Like that was the
Yeah.
biggest part of becoming Pope, so he could live in Vatican City and not live in Chicago and watch the Bulls anymore. The
I mean,
play
I
the
think
play in merchants.
like I wouldn't. Yeah. Yeah. Now it's just Miami. It's just us left. Even Atlanta's
Yeah, no
aged out of
Atlanta.
that.
Yeah.
Great. I feel like I'll answer both of these things. Like the approach of like I'm not going to address the Pope directly, but I feel like teams that
He's
are even
listening.
rivals with the Knicks. He's definitely listening. He's messaged in a few times. He's got some questions. We'll do it in the mailbag.
Okay.
Like as a Heat fan, I don't like the Knicks. I like this team. I wanted this team to win. Like it's an extremely likable team. We've already mentioned Mike Brown just being a likable story as coach. Uh, it's hard not to love Brunson. OG Anunoby, how are you not gonna like that? Like, there's no players, and Cat has been a great story to see a guy who's just been bullied relentlessly, essentially, in a lot of ways during his time in the NBA. Just all of a sudden be like, yeah, I'm gonna play lockdown defense on the guy who's been declared the king of the league, and be the
You don't
best
think the
player in the first
Spurs
two
were a
games.
likable team too, though?
No,
They are, but like
Really?
no.
she's a Thunder fan. That's why.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, yeah.
But I
I
think
forgot
Has
you literally
anyone
said this was a hate
seen
watch.
how Wembenyama played throughout the playoffs? He almost killed Naz Reid, and that wasn't the first red flag. That was the
He's
start of all of
dirty.
this.
it's true. And listen, is this the best case for the NBA because the Spurs made their villain turn and didn't even win to
Yes,
do it? I
yes.
mean, everybody is mad at Wembenyama right now.
That is so true. I mean, me too. Not that I'm not mad at him, but like I said, my feelings have changed towards him. And that was they didn't even have to win to do that. Everyone thought they were going to win and then keep winning. And then that's when they would be hated. But I don't think the rest of the team is hated. I think it's just Wemby right now.
I
Everyone's
love Dylan
seeing like,
Harper. I love Dylan
yeah,
Harper. He's my favorite player. I love that guy.
Carter Bryant doesn't know what he's doing when he touches the floor except run into people, apparently. But like he didn't really do anything else. Like that pissed me off, but it's not like he was going and dropping 30. So I was just like, whatever, bro, you'll learn. You're like 21. Like you'll learn.
What are the I mean, yeah, looking ahead on that, like the Spurs are in that position now where they are thought of as the class of the West. But if you do kind of a retrospective here, I mean, the Thunder losing Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell, and Amanda, I'll let you kind of touch on that. Like, you have to feel pretty confident about, the idea that it was just a general overreaction, the panic after that, especially watching where the Spurs are right now. Do you feel like the Thunder are still who's in the driver's seat in the West right now? Who is more in need of making changes and adjustments there? What do you think about that?
It's hard to not say the Thunder when you have the two-time MVP leading your team and will be leading your team for a very long time. Meanwhile, Wemby didn't even come in second in the MVP voting, which I thought was interesting.
Man, I forgot Denver was a team.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you still have teams like Denver that will, you know, they'll have like their best performances and then just disappear. But it's hard to not say the Thunder are still in control of this when it took the Spurs 7 games to beat them when they're down two of their best scorers. And you have one of your best scorers and defenders just have a complete meltdown in the last game. And as frustrating as that was to watch being a Thunder fan, like I think at that point, Chet was just mentally defeated. And we've seen what he can do. He's an all-star. He was all NBA second team, I believe. Defensive team, like we know what he's capable of. And again, he's very young. He's not like a guy like De'Aaron Fox that is towards the maybe the end of his career. Like this is Chet's third year in the league, and he still hasn't really been healthy for an entire year. And I think this was I think it was a good learning moment for him, maybe a humbling one at that. And I think he knows that Wembanyama is going to be a player that he's going to be matched up against for the foreseeable future. And having this offseason to really like get right mentally, because I think obviously he needs to get physically stronger, but I think mentally, because what we saw in game 7 where he just didn't even look at the basket anytime the ball was in his hands, like that's just mental lapses. And I think that can be fixed. And I mean, obviously I was frustrated, but I'm not pulling the plug on Chet yet. There's no reason in trying to implode this team that clearly knows what it's doing to try and get some trade, like people are saying. Like, you're down your two best scorers. It's going to be hard to win games. And Shea did pretty much all that he could in that game 7. So I think it's hard to count them out. Once everyone
Dort's
gets
got to go,
healthy.
right?
They're going to have some changes. That's, yeah. To keep Hartenstein and some of their other pieces, they're going to have some changes. I wouldn't be surprised if Lou Dort is not on the team, Isaiah Joe, and probably Aaron Wiggins the next year, which
No.
really hurts me. But, those guys just didn't show up at all this year. And you have a guy like Jared McCain who was on the team for 3 months and was pretty much the only one, him and Shea, not afraid to attack Wemby in the final. Bro's starting in game 7 of the Western Conference Finals for a team he's been on for 3 months, and he's going at the Defensive Player of the Year as the second guy in the league. Like you need more guys like that, and confident that Sam Presti will make the best possible decisions because he has time and time again, and I've never really questioned it. And the Thunder have the 12th and the 17th pick in the upcoming draft. So I'm pretty confident in their chances in the next couple of years.
Yeah, I pulled up this tweet right here that I saw that says, De'Aaron Fox ain't nothing but D'Angelo Russell with John Calipari's phone number.
Is he still getting shots up, you think? De'Aaron Fox,
Oh
like
God.
D'Angelo Russell was?
I love that De'Aaron Fox does just get the ball and he's just like, yeah, it's time for me. People want to see more of me. I'm ice cold today. I need to chuck this up from 30 feet for no reason.
Like, why is he still in the game at that point? That's my biggest thing. I mean,
It's
they really didn't have
ridiculous.
anybody else. Like, Champagny was cold. Luke Cornett didn't do anything. Like, they didn't, they kind of ran out of options, but that's still not an option I would
I'd still
even
like to
want to
have
have.
I'd want to have Champagne in the game on that last. If I'm not mistaken, he wasn't out there on that
No.
last inbound they had, and I'm just trusting him more than if anything. If you really want to keep Fox out there for no reason, Castle couldn't make a shot to save his life. I don't really
Yeah.
want either of those guys out there at that point. But
The Spurs had Lindy Waters the third rotting on the bench, Thunder legend. That guy can shoot the lights out, and he didn't touch the floor all series. Who knows? Maybe that could have been the missing piece for them. But I think this puts in the real question here is how good are the Atlanta Hawks? Because that series, what does that say about this team?
how bad is Trey Young?
Oh, New York is gonna love this.
The Hawks are going to be fun. The East overall is going to be fun next year. I'm excited to see the Pacers back in it. They basically, as long
Yeah,
as Halliburton gets, close to back to where he was, then they run back the same team just without Miles Turner replacing him with Zubats, who's significantly better than Miles Turner. Uh, that'll be interesting. The Celtics will have a full year of whatever their team is there. Uh, whether it has Giannis on it or not, we'll see.
oh
Uh,
God.
and then, yeah, all the young teams, the Hawks are the most promising of those. Maybe the Magic with a coach who's somewhat competent can figure something out. The Hornets, I feel like people have forgotten about. They were like quietly a top three team in the East down the stretch of the year. The
Yeah,
Pistons will
the
hopefully
Pistons
get another
still. Yeah.
scorer and then not just put everything on Cade Cunningham and the remnants of Tobias Harris. It's going to be, and obviously the Heat will always, with the best statistical scorer of the modern era, will always be a factor. G, so you don't pretend to be a Magic fan, or you do?
What do you mean pretend? I'm not. I'm not.
I'm just asked a question.
I'm not enough. Because I don't know if that's a. If you're like saying that I am a Magic fan and I'm ashamed, so I'm pretending
Asking
not to
you.
be,
I
or
don't
if
know.
I
I'm
would
not.
be
I'm
ashamed.
not. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan. I just support Florida teams. I suppose. Like I'm a Tampa fan. Like I like. I'm a diehard Rays fan. I like the Lightning and I like the Bucks, but I'm not like a. I'll support the Magic, but like not. I won't go out of my way to support them. I'll support them as honestly as much as I'll
If they're
support.
winning.
Yeah,
So you, so
honestly,
you,
yeah. Sure, I'll be a bandwagon fan of the Magic. Yeah, honestly, yeah. I'll be honest. I'll probably would have been a bandwagon fan
Well,
if
they
they
don't do a
did.
whole lot of winning,
no.
so
Yeah, you
That
pity
is
you don't
them
have
true.
to
as
worry
the
about
They
that.
little
did make
brother of the
the Heat
state,
this
or
year, though. You guys didn't even make the tournament. Lost
count
in
the
the
rings,
plane
count the
tournament.
rings.
83 points.
That's it.
Bam Adebayo.
Yep, I didn't see Franz Wagner doing that. Shout out Jose Alvarado also for continuing the trend of if the Pelicans offer to make a trade with you, you take it immediately and you ask no questions because they're going to do something stupid. They join the Kings and the Bulls. In that regard, as always, the Bulls at least have new management, so maybe they'll do something promising. But yeah, anything else that y'all wanted to touch on here?
Grand Theft Alvarado, GTA 5. You heard of that nickname? That was a good
It's
one.
it's the
Yeah.
best. It's the best in the
He is the
sport.
most New York guy. Like, if you hear him speak ever, it's like, yep, that guy's from New York. And so, I know that's another,
That's a Nick.
story.
Yep.
That's another story
He's
for this
Nick.
team. Like, I didn't typically enjoy watching him play because he always just seemed to be in the middle of fights. And, that could be the New Yorker in him. But, like, to win, to go from the Pelicans to your hometown team and win a championship, like, you gotta love it.
And become an immediate fan favorite, especially with the
Yeah.
way the last game ended too. That's great to see. God, what an
Yeah.
upgrade from the Pelicans.
Poor Zion.
Oh,
It's just a shame. Like
where's Trey
nothing's
Murphy?
ever
Trey
gonna.
Murphy can't be stuck on that team this time next year. They gotta move him somewhere.
Dyson Daniels escaped, and that was the best thing for him. So
Nothing. Oh, I hate him. Nothing makes sense about the Pelicans because you look at it. Not that they should be competing for anything significant, but like they're not a bad team, or they shouldn't be. They are, but they really
analytically,
shouldn't be.
yeah.
Analytically, they're an okay team.
I mean, you've got like I think injuries has been their biggest thing. Like you can never count on Zion to play a whole series healthy or a whole season healthy. Um,
You've
and then
already been
aside
in
from
the
him,
doorway, Ab. You don't have to crawl to be behind the camera now.
who else is even on that team, bro? I can't even.
DeJounte Murray still, kind of.
Oh, Jordan Poole is on the Pelicans.
Yeah,
Jeremiah Fears, he's really good actually.
he's good. I
Derek
can't wait for him to go
Queen,
somewhere else for nothing.
yeah,
DeAndre Jordan. Wow.
I like Derek Queen. He's good. But yeah, aside from that, they've got pretty
Oh,
much
Hunter
nobody.
Dickinson is on a roster? Wow.
Yeah, this was news to me. Kevon Looney, I forgot about him. Brett Hunt, he needs to hang it up. Yeah, I haven't even heard of like half these other guys.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was a good
Shout out the
Pelicans deep
Pelicans.
dive. Yeah. We'll do more Pelicans content here in the future. But yeah, with that, thank you all for listening to another instant reaction on the Graveyard Shift. We'll get more Knicks fan reaction too. I'm sure we'll just put Trey in the studio by himself for like an hour and a half and see what he comes up with and if we can
I
use
did
any
that
of it.
last year.
That's
Let's
true.
do
That's
it.
true. Do you
Yeah.
think he can match what you were able to do?
No,
Okay, me neither.
no.
But we'll see. We'll see what he comes up with. With that, thank you for listening. I'm your host, Will McBroom, joined by Gia Ciaccio and Amanda Golson. Thank you. Go Knicks and have a great night.